Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be with you, man. We are here. It's December.
It's the midst of the Game Awards, as it is customary. For some reason, we always record on a night that the Game
I
Awards
know,
is happening.
right?
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say, I think this is great. I mean, I think it's traditionally been Thursdays, but still, like, it's amazing.
Right. Yeah, it's good. At least it gives us something to talk about, even if it's a slow news week. Although we do have some things that we want to talk about. But yeah, man, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing good. Been extra busy, as you know, as well, going into this time of the year. Not really too much sharing what's up. I will say, looking forward though, tomorrow you and I will be watching Lord of the Rings: The War of Rohirrim. So we'll be talking about that a little bit here, probably next week, about what our thoughts were on that.
Mixed reviews from what I've seen.
Mixed reviews as well. I've seen that. Kraven, we'll talk about that a little bit. I've not seen that yet, and I'm not rushing to. And then really just getting in, Skeleton Crew, which we'll talk about in a minute here. Definitely some interesting thoughts on that. But I'll throw it over to you because I don't really have too much to share. But I'm curious if you've had anything cool thing going on over the last weekend.
So, like a follow up from the Nitro deck, because I was talking about it last week. Thank you guys for tuning in and actually watching the clip. I said that I was ready to make the non-commitment to get a cheapo device, and then the one that I was looking for, the one I've been after, is the RG Arc from Unwanted. So pull the trigger. Here it is, and it's basically a Genesis controller with with a screen on it. It's really nice. I think out of everything, right? And I'm gonna lower the volume here and just run something so you guys can see. It's really good. It's a really good device. That being said, it is a very particular device. Entry level, sure. If you want to make it better, though, you got to put in the time. It's one of those things. Like, it came in with like a no name, like China brand SD card. That's not going to fly. I had to buy I went ahead and bought a new, more reliable SD card for the games. And probably spent a good 2-3 hours just curating, and right now I have like 7,000 games on this thing.
And the internet, man.
And spend like a ton of time trying to curate, trying to make things work. I'm not a super big fan of the Linux interface. That being said, the games actually run better on that interface. On the Android side, I like it that it has a touchscreen. Like, this is the Arc D. The Arc S doesn't have a touchscreen. This one does have a touchscreen. But what's really impressive to me is that everything retro. I don't want to say everything retro. Right. Let me rephrase that. About 95% of the retro stuff is gonna run really, really well here, and it's gonna either run or not run. It has a few PS1 games, and it has a few other games here and there that run really good. Like, they run as they should. Others don't. Just look at the screen, man. You probably can see
nice.
it.
No, it's nice.
It's really bright. Street Fighter 3 runs perfect. Like, Marvel runs perfect, right? But the thing is that you gotta put in the time to get those ROMs, curate them, set up the device, go through the whole thing with the RetroArch that I'm not a huge fan of. I appreciate that everything's there for you, but it does take time. If you don't mind taking the time and making this device work for you, this one was $80. It was really good. It's really good. It's a Sega D-pad, bro. It's a Sega D-pad. It feels just like a Genesis. It doesn't feel too light and not too, it's not heavy or anything, right? But it doesn't feel too light. The plastic feels good. It feels solid enough where, it's like, yeah, this is like a, almost a no brand name. I mean, it's Anbernic, and Anbernic, they have been making a bunch of stuff. But if this is if Game Gear, like if Sega would still be around today and they would release a Game Gear, this is probably what it would be. Except with analog sticks, because now everything has analog sticks. Yeah, this one does not have analog sticks, so playing stuff with sticks on it, I haven't tried it. And that was not my purpose. Like, I didn't want to buy this to play Mario 64. I wanted to buy this to play Genesis games and to play Capcom arcade games and Ninja Turtles arcade games. That's it. I don't want to play anything else. I don't care about anything else. Super Nintendo, it's here. Yeah, that's great. Onimusha's back, by the way. If you're watching.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Holy crap, dude! I'm so excited that this thing's back right now. But thanks, Game Awards, for interrupting me again, and non-sponsored, because I want to be clear, right? I want to be transparent with you guys. I don't want to tell you Nick sent this to me. No, I paid with my own money. I bought their case separate from their site, so I got the case. But it is. If you want a lightweight device that you can throw in your backpack, play a game, and play a retro game more specifically, and have fun with it, it's great. It takes some tweaking. You gotta finagle around with it. It's not, it's not for. It's easy enough that a beginner can do it, but if you want to make it happen the way it should, there's a lot of curation that needs to be done, and not a lot of people are up to that. So I'm still curating it. I'm still trying to make it better, but I really do like it. It's very comfortable. I played it a couple times already, and I've drained the battery a couple times. So I've been playing it, and Streets of Rage play great. The Ninja Turtles games play great. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, all that plays great, and that's all I wanted. It's like I didn't buy this thing expecting that I was gonna play PS2 games. That was not my expectation. Right? I set my expectations right, and it does not disappoint. I really like it, really, really do.
The Russo brothers on here right now.
Yeah. Oh, they were gonna announce something. Interesting. Let's see what it is.
Sorry.
Yes, pause it. But yeah, the RD, if you don't mind going through the process and setting this thing up, and curating your library and adding the games that truly would work on this device, I would highly recommend it. If you're a Sega fan, I highly recommend it. If you're a Nintendo fan, there's probably other devices that are better for you. I want to be transparent there because it's not perfect, right? But for my needs and for what I wanted, it's great. Yeah, and I put in the time. Trying to clean it up, make it look nice. There's tutorials on how to install custom firmware and OSs that make it look nicer and help with some of the clumsiness that the library has, because it's not like if you boot it to Android, right? I'm just gonna show you this real quick. So if I boot to Android, I get a screen with like CPS 3, right? If I swipe it, I get another console and another console, right? And I keep swiping like that, and I get them, or use the I think the L2, one of the ones. Oh, there you go, the D-pad, and it works, great, right? And like I said, even if you get the Arc S and are willing to deal with the Linux interface, then it's not super great. Then it's fine, right? The games run fine on Linux. And that's not the problem. It's just that I just don't like the interface. So I would rather deal with the Android section and some of the quirks that I love and hate about Android. And I would rather deal with that than on the Linux end. But yeah, if you're looking for a cheap device, I think probably like the RG35XX is probably a better device. It's more pocketable and more Nintendo friendly than this one. But I wanted something that reminded me of Sega. Actually, which is funny because I went ahead and did this. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see if I can get this here. I went ahead and put a little Sega wallpaper there.
So I see what you did. I see what you did.
So, man, I like it. I like it. Like, I have no complaints. About the device itself. It's just the setup process, and I was expecting to go through some growing pains there. But other than that, man, that's basically it on my end, man. It's still playing that Nitro deck. So, like, if you ask in the comments, still playing it. It's great. So,
love that.
Yeah, man. But that's what I got. I really haven't watched anything else. I don't know if you want to just go into Skeleton Crew from here.
Yeah, and that won't be a long update.
Right.
Episode's pretty straightforward. Episode 3, spoilers ahead for Skeleton Crew Season 1. Yeah, I mean, we finally get a little bit more of an insight into, is this guy a pirate? Is he a Jedi? Who is he?
Right.
We saw at the beginning of Episode 1, worst kept secret, that, in my opinion, was very obvious that it was Jude Law pretending to be with the mask, whatever, right? And that he was thrown behind bars. But you get the official reveal of that in this episode, so that's cool. I will say, I still think that there's more mystery behind him. I don't think it's going to be crazy mysteries and like he's this ancient whatever. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's more of just like what his agenda is beyond the money. Like they're not gonna make it that he just wants to get this gold at this or get these credits at this place,
right,
or this ancient treasure or whatever it is. Like he probably knows more than most of them realize about what it is or what's what could be beyond what's at least being previewed at there. But I do like that it's still keeping it adventurous and grounded, because like it doesn't feel like they're trying to save the galaxy or something. Like that's not what this is about.
Right.
They're not even trying to necessarily save their town, although there's ramifications that are bigger beyond their planet. And yeah, like you're going to the deep space, the deep end of space Star Wars across the galaxy and parts that we haven't fully discovered yet. So yeah, I what I'm enjoying so far. I think there's still plenty of mystery to be revealed around specifically this planet where the kids come from and this hidden treasure. Why was this ship even there to begin with? There's more beyond that, of course, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it still. Yeah. I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, like what you said, it's really on point. It feels like it's self-contained. Like you don't have to, and not everything in Star Wars needs to be this galactic threat. You can come up with this side stories and others, self-contained stories that happen well apart from whatever's going on the other end. So, I still like it. It was good. It was a good episode, right? And and I like that it's not clear. Like it's like, is he a Jedi? Yeah. Is he using magnets? Like, right? Because it makes you think from this dude in Kenobi that was using the magnets to fake it, right? So, so we don't know, right? It could be like it seems like he is, right, but he doesn't want to be. Like, and he's like in an in between, and then when he came, we got some lore about Adden and the other planets that were part of the Old Republic that had treasures in them, and I guess there wasn't 4 planets that they mentioned, and 3 of them were destroyed, and then that one was the one remaining, and it was hidden, so. I like that we're getting little pieces of lore like that. It's like, oh yeah, like the Empire happened and these people didn't know. It's like, because they said it. It's like, oh, it's like, it wasn't affected by the war. What war? It's like, what the heck? It's like, you guys didn't even know that this was going on out there,
right?
Like planets were getting blown up, and you guys were just chilling in Suburbia, in planet Suburbia over here. So all that is really cool, right? And see that I guess Crimson Jack, right? Is that they called him?
I can't remember. Yeah, something like that.
So like it's it's cool that he, like, you can't tell exactly what his motives are yet, but you can also tell that he kind of does care for the kids. Like, he does have that nature. It's like, oh no, I don't care. I'm in it for the money, but a very Han Solo vibe to him. It's like, oh, I don't, I just want to go and get the treasure, but at the same time, it's like, oh, these kids are like, they don't know where they're from. It's like, I gotta, help them out and take care of them. So there's like there's that in between, right? And yeah, I so far, man, I'm liking it, and I'm hoping that it keeps going like that, and keeps that sense of adventure, and keeps us, keeps giving us lore, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, and that, again, as someone that completely ignored the Acolyte and did not watch not a single episode of it, no, this is good. I like it.
Yeah, the first these first 3 episodes are better than the entirety of the Acolyte, dude. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy to say that.
Oh,
There's
no.
not one episode. There's not one episode that stands, or even 4 episodes combined that stand to this show. And I don't even. This show could crash and burn for all we know next week. But at least we've gotten 3 good episodes so far, and that's a step in the right direction.
That's more than we got from the Acolyte. Yeah. Man. I really do hope they keep it up. So we'll see. Joel, let's you know what? Screw it. Let's talk about Kraven. So
why not?
We haven't watched it. Joel hasn't watched it. Nope. Joel was going to watch it over the weekend, but now we have some Imperial entanglements that he needs to attend. So it's sitting at a whopping 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, yeah, man, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, this movie is just not good critically. I have yet to see it, like you said, so I can't speak for my own opinion of it. But let's face it, when you have reviews like that, that means that essentially maybe 1.5 people out of 10 that will watch this movie will actually think the movie's decent. That's not good. And what's really interesting is that ahead of its full release, and it's just out now, right? Like, today is its official full premiere day. The projections for the box office probably got like cut somewhere in half. I want to say they were looking at originally somewhere around like 30 million opening weekend, and now they're looking at somewhere around like 14 million opening week, some crazy disastrous number for this film. And so, it's just a sign of there's been a loss of interest, a lack of faith in these specific genre films that Sony's been putting out. There's a trend. We know obviously what we've seen from Morbius to this year's having Madame Web. Venom: The Last Dance got a much higher rating than even these, but even then, we're not looking at something that has an incredibly amazing ratings. We're still looking at a rotten score as well. So I'm of the mindset that, I expect this movie to be absolute dumpster fire when I see it. I don't expect anything. So if I feel any differently, that will be a surprise to myself and to you. But I also
IGN gave it a 3, dude.
That's if IGN's giving it a 3, that's trouble. Sorry. But when I think about it, like, so the Wrap put out like an article with their sources basically saying, and I believe it, essentially saying like we're not gonna see any more of these spin-off films from Sony in the Spider-Man world. They have looked at this and realized the trend is just not good, so there's no way to justify keep making these. And that allegedly there were plans beyond this, which I'm not surprised. Maybe you saw Venom: The Last Dance, some of these other things. There's always a chance that they could have tried to pull these characters together into something else. But that door seems to be shut just because of the pure financials. I'm sure even if the ratings were bad, but the financials were good. I mean, think of the first Venom movie. The first Venom movie, horrible reviews. And that movie made like $1 billion, no exaggeration. So that helped them say, well, if there's a demand for it, let's keep going. I would argue that film was on the curtails of what was going on at the superhero, excitement of superhero films in general at that time. It was somewhat of a golden age, your Infinity War Endgame timing of films where things were really, really popping off box office wise. If it had Marvel anyway attached to it, I'm not saying the movie didn't do good because people didn't enjoy it. I'm just saying I'm sure that helped. But the other thing that's interesting in the article as well, based on like the sources and some of the expert analysis on what's going on with Sony, they're saying that this is not just a sign of these films not being like the Sony Spider-Man films in general not doing good, but they're basically pointing the finger and referring to it as superhero fatigue, which we've heard that terminology. We've talked about the show about what that really means. Is that true? Whatever. And they're basically pointing at it and saying, like, in general, the superhero genre is struggling, so we're not going to make more projects than we need to.
So I don't necessarily. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't necessarily think it's superhero fatigue. I think it's just superheroes that people don't care about. Like, no one wanted this movie. Why is this movie happening? Like Kraven the Unwanted. Because they didn't, like, no one is like this and Madame Web and like Ironheart, because Marvel's not innocent either of this. Like this, like that's what's fatiguing people. It's like, I don't know about these characters. I don't care. Where's Captain America? It's like, where's Iron Man? Like, where's Bucky? Like, right. So.
Which, like, everyone says this, I'd say everyone, but a lot of commentators will say the same thing. It's not fatigue, just make good projects. And I agree with that too, to some extent. And I agree with what you're saying about, like, you have to give people more of what they want and be cognizant of that.
Right.
At the same time, I'd say, like, you can flavor in new stuff that people don't know that they want. You can do it, but you better be darn sure that you're going to give this 110%. You're not just trying to make a quick buck. Because, like, when you look at, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, shoot, even Iron Man 1, when that came out, ain't nobody knew who Iron Man was. No one knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy was. No, you did. Right. But, like people weren't, like, general movie-going audiences weren't asking for it, but you gave them a surprise meal they didn't ask for, and they went away going, I like this. This is really good. I want more. Totally. And I think, like, Sony had an opportunity to do that. You and I have been extremely, just in general in our lives as people, we like to give things chances, even if they don't always deserve it. And, like, we've been very open-minded. It's like, even though we both agree, like, we didn't want these projects, we watched them and to see, like, hey, like, is it going to be any good? Or does it confirm our bias that, these are just not going to be good? And it's always been the other way around, where it's like they've told us, like, these, they've shown us these are not good films. So, like, clearly, like you're saying, it's not. I don't think it's just the superhero fatigue, and I don't think it's even just saying, like, giving. I think there's a point what you're saying about giving people what they want, and there's also, like, a mixture in of just saying, like, just make good films. But they've lost a lot of people who maybe would have cared about this, and the reason why, like, your Spider-Man, like, which is another part of the article, right, saying that they are fully moved gears into saying, Spider-Man 4. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, or and the Spider-Man New York animated film that they're working on also, like, those three are the only, like, Spider-Man projects they have in production. Clearly, those are ones that have a track record of people wanting them and make more of them, and they're doing really good.
Right.
My thing that's interesting with it, Obed, too, is, like, so, like, Spider-Man 4, for example, like, Tom Holland has won people over, Zendaya have won people over. Like, the movie could be bad, but you're still going to make money. Same thing with Beyond the Spider-Verse. Like, it could be bad, but people really just like Miles Morales and stuff. It could be good. It's dangerous to lean upon that. Like, I like that they're doing this and that they're just stopping and not making more new stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just hope that they don't let that craziness cross over into other projects too. I know that Tom Holland has been talking very well about Spider-Man 4 and how much he loves it. You would expect somebody with a paycheck to do that. I'm not going to say otherwise. But, man, it's weird times. Kraven the Unwanted. The people are speaking with their dollar, and this is a worldwide thing. I mean, Spider-Man, Venom: The Last Dance actually is profitable. Like, no matter what the reviews are, it's actually profitable. That's the only trilogy out of all these spinoffs, the one that actually got sequels and actually has made a buck for Sony. I think that's the only character that lives on, Obed. I think that's the only character that shows up supposedly in Spider-Man 4. but it's fascinating. Sorry, you go ahead. What's your thoughts on this?
No, yeah, the same thing. I'm glad it's over on that end, and they just need to concentrate on things that people actually want. So, and Sony's going through a transformational period when it comes to their studio. They confirmed today that the Kadokawa rumors were true, and they are looking to purchase. So I see them just breaking out of like their that mentality. It's like, oh no, we still have the rights to these characters. We might as well just do something to make some money. But they're not making money; they're losing money, right?
Correct.
So, I'm really not entirely sure what they're gonna do with it after this. So like they should keep it to the animation stuff. I think it's better when they do it that way, and then just collaborate with Marvel for the Spider-Man stuff, and just forget about it. Right? It's like and and that's fine. You don't have to give up the character, but just collaborate with Marvel and make those movies actually mean something. Like,
right?
Don't do the Kraven standalone thing because but on web, no one wanted that. Like all these things that people don't want. Like even like Morbius, right?
That's bad.
So like, where's Maximum Carnage, right? It's like, why not reach out to Disney and Marvel and say, hey, let's do it. Like this, let's bring these characters together, right? And let's do this crazy thing. Like you're itching for a new Avengers, let's do Spidey Avengers that for a movie or two maybe, right? You do Maximum Carnage Part 1 and Part 2. You could.
Yeah.
And you could get away with it. I mean, it could be too much, but you can fit. You don't have to do like everything by the comic book in this case or graphic novel.
They never do.
But you can do something close. You can have Spider-Man and Venom, right? Battle evil Venom with another Goblin, right, and a screaming lady. So, and bring Cap, do a cameo. Cap doesn't have to be in the entire movie. Just have him do a cameo.
Yeah. They just haven't earned it. That's the other half of it. Like they got to earn this.
I know, but at the same time, man,
it's there. I agree. I love the idea.
Yep. Joel, can we take a quick break and we'll be right back in a minute?
Absolutely.
All right. And we're back. All right, lost my hat. I don't know what I did with it. I had to run, dude. I have really bad allergies today, and my eyes are burning, dude. I gotta get some eye drops.
He got so emotional talking about Kraven.
Man, I just started crying for Kraven.
Oh. Yeah. Nice.
But we got another report that I guess Chris Evans' return as Steve Rogers is happening. So, yeah. I mean, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's fascinating because it's from the same sources that just gave us the information about Sony and Kraven are the same ones that are coming through and giving the exclusive that Chris Evans has signed on to return to specifically Avengers Doomsday. Not Avengers Secret Wars, just Avengers Doomsday, one of the films. I'm not saying that he hasn't signed for the other ones, but it is fascinating that they only specified that project.
Right.
They also just simply say Chris Evans has signed on. They don't say Chris Evans signed on to return Steve Rogers, the Human Torch, Captain America, whatever. You would assume Captain America. That's the only one that makes the most sense considering his relationship with the Russo brothers and the Russo brothers directing all the Captain America films and all that good stuff. But you also would have assumed that Robert Downey Jr. was announced in Avengers Doomsday and say he didn't have the whole Comic-Con moment that we experienced. You probably said Iron Man was back, and he isn't. So who's to say that this isn't an alternate version of another character again, that Chris Evans is coming back, doing the same thing as Robert Downey Jr.? I'm speculating. This is purely I just think it's fascinating nonetheless that that's the way the article goes, and everyone jumped to the conclusion that Steve Rogers is back. And I'm like, yeah, makes the most sense, but that's not exactly what they told us. They just simply said Chris Evans is back and he's for Doomsday. I could see this being the case, Obed, where even if he is Steve Rogers, it's the death of Steve Rogers.
Right.
Like, he comes back just to make sure he doesn't have to come back again.
Oh, no.
Kind of thing. I don't want that to be the case. People are going to be mad at me for saying this.
No,
I don't think Disney would want them to do that.
I don't think they will,
but
yeah.
Stranger things have happened, man. We will see.
Man.
They're going to Harrison Ford him.
No.
They're going to Han Solo.
I don't think... No, man. Like, I don't think they'll do that. I think that a lot of the casuals would be upset with that. You don't want to upset the casuals because the casuals, they're the ones that you don't need to worry about the long term people that you've already had. Is like you gotta think of the those casual crews that come in and fill up movie theater seats. So the casuals are not gonna go in and watch a movie where Captain America dies in the movie. When he's like, where's Cap coming back? Like, everyone's asking, like, all the casuals, where's Cap coming back? So, yeah. I don't know. Double Dragon Revive. New Double Dragon game coming out next year. Don't know who really cares too much about Double Dragon anymore, but sure. Make it good. How about that? The last few have been not great. Except that Neon. And you know what? Double Dragon Neon. I think IGN gave it like a 1 or something, dude. That game is actually pretty good. But hey, that's IGN. So that's the second IGN jab we take today, Joe. What the heck?
Ooh.
What are you guys doing?
Something's going on.
Feed me the news.
Something in the water.
Feed me the news. But yeah, I don't think casual audiences are gonna be too happy with them just getting rid of Chris Evans. So
yeah.
We'll
see.
Yeah, we'll see. Joe, Marvel Rivals just launched, and the game is doing pretty good. Everyone was very concerned that they were not going to do good based on what happened to Concord. By the way, we should stream that. How about we plan to stream that next week, Joel, instead of having a regular episode?
Let's do it.
Like the last episode of the year is going to be a Marvel Rivals stream. Let's go. Let's do it. But yeah, and they're out there. They're the game's reviewing well. Not super great, but it's getting 8s and 7s. So it's pretty good. A lot of the Overwatch fans that dropped off of Overwatch tried it, and they were saying that it's good. Like that's based on community and YouTube stuff that's out there. It's like, oh yeah, I was really into Overwatch and I dropped off, and then this game's pretty good. So Like it's scratching a niche that kind of wasn't there. Also, I think the character designs really do help a lot because yes, it is Marvel, but they're taking some liberties with the character designs that I think in a lot of cases really does pay off. So
Yeah.
from what I've seen is great. We're definitely going to try it. We're going to try and stream it and see what happens. But Joel, the director of the game explains what happened to Concord and why was Concord not well received by. It was well reviewed, like reviewed well, but it wasn't received well by gamers. So what is he trying to say here?
Yeah. It's good to see that there's some lessons learned and some analysis and taking ownership around the failure that Concord was. There's a lot of things that people can point at and say this was the issue, that was the issue. But specifically the director is saying just at its core, it did not add any unique value to the market that game, which is really their way of saying it just wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
Like you didn't do anything special or cause any special interest around it. It just was almost in some ways gaming clutter. That's me adding in that commentary, by the way. Not seriously, the director said that.
But we've seen many games like that just drop off. Like
Yes.
A few years ago, we've had like on the same year we had like 3 games that were similar to this, and they disappeared within a few weeks.
And an issue with this is like it literally costs a lot of money. Obviously, costs studios shut down. They reimburse a lot of people, and I think they're learning like with what they did with Rivals, this free to play style is so successful. They have over 10 million downloads already at its launch. That's a demand. Yes, you might argue it has the name of Marvel behind it. That is something that they do mention here in the commentary around it. Is like this is an intellectual property that people are more fond of, more interested in, just worldwide. But I think with Concord, it clearly it could be something new, but it just needs to still be something interesting. And they tried. They took a shot in the dark. Unfortunately, it did not work.
Yeah, I think the cinematic trailer was good.
I didn't think
but,
for me. Yeah. The marketing wasn't good.
The marketing was good. I think the cinematic trailer was good, but then they started stuff started coming out about characters and portrayals and certain things.
Yeah,
and it's like it's just, I don't know, it's just not appealing.
Right.
But yeah, I think to his point, the Marvel license is a lot more attractive than something brand new. But we've seen many Marvel games flop too, so like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's guaranteed success. So
absolutely,
yeah.
I agree.
Like look at Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
That should have been gangbangers.
That game, yeah, it should have been incredible, and just came and went, and nothing really happened, right? And it took fans to actually unite and say, hey, bring back the old Marvel, and it's here again, and But in between that, right, we get something like Ultimate 3, and Ultimate 3 is amazing and has an incredible roster, and an art design and art style that holds up. So, like some of the decisions that were clearly made by Marvel / Disney for Infinite caused the game to just not be as interesting as a lot of people thought it would be. I think the gameplay on that game was excellent, but it just looked terrible, dude. Yeah. Those graphics were just bad, and some of the music was also really bad, and it was strange. Like I think it's like from the art style perspective of that game, it was bad. Like the graphics were bad, were bad, the sound was bad, the voice acting was bad. But then the gameplay was really good. Like, and I know that gameplay is, a lot of people say gameplay is what matters, but gameplay didn't save this game.
Right.
So clearly there's other things around the gameplay that do help a game become successful. And I think that, Rivals gameplay is probably not very deep, but the art style helps a lot. And it's benefiting from that. Yeah. So, and also being free to play, dude. Because, like, why, like, charging for a hero shooter in 2024, like, or let me rephrase that. It's like making a hero shooter free to play in 2024 is a no brainer. Like, people are not gonna pay $50, $60 to buy a game when Fortnite is free, when Valorant is free, when Apex is free, right? So you're not. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And I don't know that's I mean, it was a huge miscalculation from the Sony end, but I don't know. Lessons learned. What you said, yeah. So it's something that they can probably work on for the next multiplayer title, because I'm sure that there's gonna be another one. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. I don't know if you saw real quick before we jump into Game Awards stuff, that more stuff leaked out for the Switch 2. So there's pictures of the actual console now. There's
what?
Let me see. Let me see.
That means they're really close then.
Switch.
I think I found something.
2 leak. Factory prototypes. It's not. It's a. So there's a.
Are they gonna be magnets? Not like.
Right.
Like
so it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be magnetic. There we go. I'm gonna send this link to you. I saw it on Reddit, and it's still there. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this over. So yeah, man, they're showing the consoles, basically it's a leak of a silicone case, but the case the silicone case actually shows the console. So
looks a matter of time.
Yeah, it looks very similar though. If you look at it, like it's almost the exact same shape as the Switch. So maybe the Nitro deck will. Maybe I don't have to buy a new Nitro deck, Joel, because I know after my experience, Joel, I wouldn't mind spending another $50 getting Nitro deck for a new Switch if that's going to be a thing. I'm being honest with you. Like, I would rather do that than get a. I would still get a Pro controller so I can play on the TV comfortably, right? But instead of just buying extra Joy-Cons or anything else or a case, I would rather just buy another one, straight up. So that's how happy I am with it. So, but yeah, it looks like it has a little bit more of a rounded edge to the console itself, but it just looks very, very similar. So almost identical to the current Switch OLED. So we will wait and see on that. Game Awards happening as we speak. There's still stuff coming out.
Yeah, it's still going.
But things of note, Elden Ring's getting a new game. I don't know what this is, but based on the information that's out there on websites, it is kind of like a Monster Hunter thing. So it's co-op. It looks like you have some different mobility options that you don't have in the base game. There's some Sekiro movements there. So this to me seems like them testing, hey, can we put Sekiro mechanics into an open world game like Elden Ring, and how would that work? And that to me, this game to me is them testing those things out. There's also rumors that it's gonna be like the enemies are gonna be randomized. So there could be different enemies on the same area that you visited already. So that's cool, I guess. Am I gonna get it? Sure. It's like there's not even a question, dude.
They got you.
Like they got me. They got my money already. They don't have to, show me anymore. Like, say no more, fam, right? Kind of thing. So, yeah, interesting. It looks interesting. I don't know. There's some Dark Souls stuff happening too. Yeah, I'm in. So Elden Ring, Night Rain coming out next year. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, I think it's amazing that they are continuing to build upon one of the most highly in demand, beloved game franchises, and just continue to just build on it. Elden Ring is now a household name. It's here to stay. So
Yeah.
I like to see the expansion, but also trying something different. Like you said, yes. If I say different, I mean the sense of like what your traditional Elden Ring is. Like, you're taking concepts from existing other games and bringing it into your own world, and that's gonna make it still stay interesting and lively. It's a risk, but I think it will work.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Bowser's Fury, which
Oh
is
yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah,
taking the
yeah.
concept of Mario 3D World and make it in an open world area. You know,
Absolutely.
it's them testing their tech. It's like, hey, can we do this? And and if it turns out good, it's like, oh, we could actually just like sell this because that turned out pretty good. I'm confident in From Software. I don't think like they've never disappointed. I mean, it's been all bangers since Demon Souls, and back in 2007, whenever that came out. So yeah, man, I'm very very interested in this thing. The Witcher 4 revealed no date, knowing how CD Projekt Red operates. This is probably like a 2028 game. 2026. Let's give it. Then you know what? 2027. It's probably gonna be a 2027 game. So, this time the Siri is the main character, and no girl, at least not yet. So that's cool. They're switching it up a little bit. Girl was in charge for the three previous games, so changing it up a little bit. When they first showed the like that background, and Jeff Keighley was like, "Oh, it was like immersive storytelling." I was like, "Oh, is this Bloodborne too?" Oh no, disappointed. So, but it's graphically, I can't. It was a CG trailer. I can't really judge it. I can't really say anything more about it until I see something. But
Yeah, yeah.
just a reminder that when we first saw that the first teaser for Cyberpunk, and everyone freaked out. I don't know. I guess they delivered. Better late than never, because the game apparently now is very very good. So yeah.
Yeah, character driven,
Yeah.
super. That's the marketing behind this. Siri being on the forefront, and that's what you're gonna get when you get a cinematic. It's more gonna be to get you interested in the story and where you're jumping into, not necessarily gameplay. That comes later, so we'll see.
Yep. Fumito Ueda has a new game, the codename Project Robot. He was the director of Shadow of the Colossus, among other games, and PlayStation. So he departed Sony after The Last Guardian, and founded his own studio. So there's a new game coming out from his end. There's a new co-op game by Joseph Ferris, one of our favorite attendants at the Game Awards. That's coming out next year. It's called Split Fiction, and it looks kind of like a futuristic, almost again, kind of like multiplayer game, like the kind of games that he does, that you always have two characters. But it does seem like it's a fantasy sci-fi thing, and it looks pretty good. So Outer Worlds 2, they put out a new trailer. Rebirth coming out on PC in a few weeks, January 23rd. Yeah. And a new Onimusha from Capcom, that was confirmed to be a 2026 release. New Virtual Fighter coming out. There's going to be another announcement tomorrow, and I'm going to be freaking out because VF is one of the best. VF, Virtual Fighter, dude. That game has something that in Tekken exploded, right? Those Virtua Fighter and Tekken were contemporary. Virtua Fighter came out first, then Tekken came out a little bit later. I think that Virtua Fighter 1 and 2 are better than Tekken 1 and 2, but then Tekken 3 just upped the ante, and it just kept going from there. And Virtual Fighter could not catch up, even with some very, very impressive games. Virtual Fighter for PS3 was incredible, and that re-release that they did on PS4 is really, really good. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited for Virtual Fighter. It looks great. They showed one of the devs playing on a screen and it looked incredible. So I'm really, really happy, really excited for that. There's another Yakuza style game, or Like a Dragon, I should say, style game called Project Century, and it's going to take place in 1915. And Turok the Dinosaur Hunter is back. So
that was right before we were starting. You were like, "Oh, it's back! What a niche project."
Yeah, it's like N64 days. It's like back in my day, old man.
Oh no,
kind of thing. So that so far, those have been like the biggest announcements that they've had tonight. So yeah, hopefully they'll throw in a couple more before the night's over, and
sure.
Yeah, hoping to get hyped. Joel, I don't know if you saw that. So GTA 6 doesn't have a release date yet, and rumor in the street is that a lot of devs are not going to announce dates for their stuff until GTA's release date is out.
Release your project the same time as GTA. You're asking for a death sentence. The money that's going to be flowing into GTA.
We're going to get Horizon 3. Horizon 3 coming out the same day as GTA.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not the one.
Poor Horizon. Couldn't catch a break.
No.
So, yeah, man. That's probably why it seems like 2025 is kind of dry right now. Is because these people, these guys are just waiting for GTA.
GTA is going to be a big mover. Your Nintendo Switch 2 launch is going to be a big mover. Right. And I'm sure there'll be some other surprises as well that we're not even accounting for between that time. So there's going to be plenty of big gaming pillar moments that will happen. But like you said, it's all mum is the word until the big pieces drop first.
Yeah, I would say if you're developers and you're confident in your product, release early. Try to get it out before summer, because I think that thing's probably gonna come out either summer or fall. Like if they do October, have
GTA?
they? Yeah, have they historically have a date? I was like, GTA.
I mean, it's been like over 10 years since the last one.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's historical is relative. I agree though. Like just pure guessing, you do it before the holidays. You get it out in the summer when kids are home, even though it's not a kids game. And then when and then going into the holidays, an extra gift for people who have been waiting to buy a console and they'll get it. I strongly suggest they launch it in the summer if I'm on the outside looking in.
So look at this. Someone put in a all the release dates on AI pattern, and to predict a date, and the date is March 7th of next year.
That's early.
That's early. And if it's March 7th, then you guys can wait until like August, October to put your game out. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just stay away of March and April, and maybe even May, because then May you get end of school, kids finishing school, and like jumping into play. Yeah, wait, late summer. Like if it's the first half of the year, then you guys are good. Just do your thing. But then March 7th, though, that's kind of like what the predicted date for the Switch is, right? It's like mid-March allegedly. Like,
I thought it was February. Maybe that was March.
Oh, man. So March 7th is a Friday. That actually works out pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, man, it's been 11 years since GTA 5, dude. And they still sell like crazy.
Right. It's the most sold game, whatever, of all time. And People still playing it right now on their elderly consoles. 10 years is very elderly.
No, it's on everything, man. That got re-released on PS5, dude.
I know when they did that, like they're just putting life back into that game to make sure they make more money.
Of course.
It's fine.
They're gonna keep making money, man.
Last of Us will have that remastered for PlayStation 6. Let's be honest.
Oh, another one.
Let's be honest.
No,
it's gonna keep going.
Stop. Oh man. So cool. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna go catch War of the Rohirrim. Joel, do you have a prediction on Sonic 3? Because their marketing is like on point, dude. Like they started kicking up that marketing, and it's good, dude. Is this thing gonna roll over Mufasa? If is this gonna trample Mufasa?
Yeah. Oh, stop. No, don't do that. Well, I just heard the cry of like all of the Disney fans.
Like someone needs to, if it happens, right? Someone needs to take the clip of the stampede and just put Sonic faces on all the wildebeest just running over Mufasa. No,
but do Shadow instead. Don't make a Sonic. Just make a Shadow.
Make both of them. Why not? Tails. And then you have Knuckles say "Long live the king" and just toss them through. And then you get Tails. No!
Wow. Let's be honest, there may be way more characters than we just listed, even in Sonic 3, which gets me excited.
Dude.
There might be some surprises.
Right, like they're not sure. Right, totally.
Amy and maybe Metal Song. Who knows?
No, it Rouge the Bat. Like there's rumors that Kristen Ritter is gonna be like Rouge the Bat in that movie. So Metal Sonic. We're probably gonna get Metal Sonic too.
Right, dude. Right. That movie's gonna be loaded with some great moments. I think obviously the film is gonna do extremely well. Mufasa will still have its flowers, but it ain't gonna make $1 billion like The Lion King did the first one. I think that's a given. It would have to have a surprising showing where reviews are like, this is the best animated movie since whatever. I mean, Moana 2 is doing extremely well, right? But Moana is not the same as your Mufasa live action.
Reviews were pretty soft too for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're competing against Sonic. GG's. Yeah, like Sonic is gonna come through. I think we could get close to the Mario Bros numbers. We're not gonna get there, but we could get close because there's not much competition. What's your competition? The Bob Dylan film? I mean, Mufasa. I mean the when you look at some of these other ones, like they put out the right timing. It will have legs. It's Christmas, New Year's, 2 major holidays, and there's nothing competing with that. Going into January, which is one of the driest times for film as well. Yeah. I think you could have a good 3 to 4 weeks of this film surprising people. Yeah. Because word of mouth will be good too, and little Billy's gonna come back from winter break, and he's gonna be like, guys. And then little Susie's gonna say, "I want to see it too," and then they're gonna go back and watch it again. You know how it works, man. Yeah. Like, so it's and people need something that brings them joy. These films.
Oh yeah.
It's not a political film. It's not a true story film. It's not a superhero film, but it's close. It will have its day in the sun, young and old.
No, totally. Yeah, I'm checking it out. We're going to watch it. That's probably going to be like day after Christmas or something like that. We'll go and go watch the movie. Like we're not gonna try and go like because we originally we were planning on that Saturday see Otaku the 20th or that same the 21st, right?
I know.
Yeah,
that's great.
So and the movie comes out on 20th. So we're not gonna be able to make that. Oh, there's the new Sonic racing game, Crossworlds. Hopefully it's not mobile. Yeah, it's not mobile. It's going on PS5. Nice. Those games were really good. Have you ever played those?
Will there be an online mode, and can we race each other?
Probably. Did you ever play the ones on PS3? Those were really good.
Yeah, I did.
Those games were like legit as good as Mario Kart. They're really good.
Oh yeah. That's why I got it at the time because I was like,
Yeah, I think the newer one that came out, the one that came out on PS4 is not as good though. Like I think the ones for PS3 were better. So cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. So what have we got? Yeah, if anything else happens, we'll talk about it next week. Again, we're planning on next week is going to be our last episode of the year. Planning on just streaming Marvel Rivals and see what the talk's all about, and check it out.
Yep.
And then we'll give you guys our impressions on the Rohirrim. But Joel,
That's right.
in the meantime,
Right.
where can
And
people
any
find
other
us?
news that we may have missed from the Game Awards that could still be coming through. But
Absolutely.
everyone, thank you so much for sticking with us. And we really encourage you guys to make sure you stay tuned, stay subscribed. We're on podcast platforms of your choice: Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music. Find us, subscribe to us, write reviews even on those audio platforms. That really helps boost the show and get other people to find us. And hopefully we can just grow this community together. And that's thanks to you. You also can help grow this community by making sure you're subscribed, liking the videos, and dropping comments on our YouTube channel. If we're not asking you to do anything crazy, but just simply click a few buttons, type a comment out. Your feedback is appreciated. We enjoy it. But again, it's also another way of you sharing the show with others. And then additionally, you can also follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, X. You can see all those handles down below if you're watching the video version. If you do want to support the show beyond though these actions and actually put some dollars behind it, you can also always support the show through our Patreon, patreon.com/no load time. That's patreon.com/no load time. And on there, you can support the show with as little as $1 a month. Literally $1 a month, you'd be a member of our Patreon. That helps all cover all the costs of our show here and some of the new stuff that we want to try and do too. So we really appreciate you guys no matter what. Your support is always appreciated. Last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, you can still write in the comment section, but you can also email us. noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And potentially we'll even talk about what you send in on a future episode. Thank you for being with us. I see the comment section. You guys are great. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.